I'm here with Stephen Plarre from Ferguson Plarre to just talk a little bit about the business. Stephen, tell us what's happening in the bakery side of retail at the moment.
Well, I think anecdotally good food is doing well. I think certainly the supermarkets are doing quite well, and there's a little bit of negativity in the fast food space. But I think for businesses that are innovating and know who they are and are playing to their strengths, business is good. But it's certainly been that case for us.
Now, your brand's got quite a bit of history, hasn't it? How long has it been around?
Yeah, so we're at 112 years. We've seen through some pretty tough times. My great grandfather would hate to see me whinge about current conditions, having been through Great Depressions and World Wars. So I think comparatively things are fantastic.
You mentioned the brand. You said you've just recently gone through a strategic review of brand.
Yeah.
What's that revealed to you?
Well, look, we've sort of admitted or known that we've very much been a brand that's been like the paddock that grew over the last 100 years, and we've got some incredible loyalty. So we've done some work over the last year to really deep dive around, what are the drivers of that kind of loyalty, and how can we make sure that we're replicating that for the next generation. We've got lots of customers whose, mothers or grandparents had wedding cakes made by us, or used to take them down to their local Ferguson Plarre for a cupcake, and their memories are incredibly fond, and as a result they're really loyal. So for us, we've done some work to try and define what those key drivers are. Do we look the way we need to look? Are the colours right? What's the ambience in store like? Through to uniform, a real refresh. The results, not surprisingly, are for us to not change anything incredibly, because we sit in a part of the market that's not really overly cluttered. We're a full range bakery. We do some coffee, but it's not our hero product. We like to think that we're a full range bakery that happens to sell great coffee, and we've got a bit of a cafe feel, as opposed to I think a lot of people who have headed in the other direction and become maybe cafes that happen to sell cakes.
Okay. Now, in terms of the franchise expansion for the main brand, because you've got two brands. We
do, yes.
For the main brand, what does 2014 look like?
Well, at the moment it's great. So Ferguson Plarre in Victoria, we have 6 stores opening before Christmas. We'd be aiming to replicate that, if not better. We spent the last year doing a lot of work around our franchise systems, and we're getting a lot of referrals from current franchisees, and we're only really just starting to leverage that. So 2014 is going to, I would think, see us with at least 12 and hopefully up to 20 stores for the financial year. Our Puckles brand in Queensland has been a test case for an interstate model, and is working well. We've now got 4 stores set up, 1 franchise, 3 company stores. We're now spending time working out what are the key drivers of success for that, and make sure that it's the system's properly polished and ready to go to market for new franchisees.
Now, will you retain those company-owned stores? Is that part of the strategy, or will you look to franchise those out?
Yeah, we'll look. Our process in the past has been to set up and then franchise, but we always find ourselves liking to run at least a couple of company stores. It allows us to innovate with new product ranges, new supply chain innovations. So I would think that we would keep a couple, but what often happens is we might set up, sell the ones that we have, and then move into a new market, which allows us to either test some of our location theories. We've done a lot of work with demographic mapping, and so we might test some of those new markets. Happier for us to take that risk in a new market than a franchisee, and hopefully we get it right and it allows us to grow.
In terms of location testing, will that involve slightly different models of your bakehouse, or will it be just replanting the
pretty much
footprint as it is?
Pretty much the same. At the moment we're really happy. We've got above average sales, and it's really looking at our food cost margins, our wages, and making sure that they're going to get franchisees excited. Really, I mean, we need to. We're all competing for potential franchisees' dollars. So between that, getting the right sites in terms of rent as a percentage of operating costs or of turnover, the mapping itself. We've done most of the eastern seaboard. I mean, we know where in New South Wales, as well as Queensland and Victoria, where our 2 brands in a perfect world are going to work, and that's based on a lot of work we did over 6 months to try and identify what our key sales generators are, everything from proximity to major supermarkets to parking, ant trail, demographic data, access via census, all those kind of things. So we've got most of that. with all of that, there's always a process of validation, opening, feeding the data back. Did it match the model? If it doesn't match the model, tweak the model to make sure that we've de-risked the next purchase or the next store choice. Yeah.
Well, good luck with the next year, and I look forward to hearing more about it.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Cheers.